Tonight here at the Oval, it's town versus country. It's the Premier Division against the First Division, the holders up against the underdogs. It's Glentoran versus Ballymena in the final of the TFG County Antrim Shield. A golden goal against Linfield, Darren Glentoran their place in tonight's final. Tim McCann with his first ever strike against the Blues. Ballymena suffered an early shock in their semi-final against Chimney Corner. But recovered to go through in style. And the Braidmen are in search of their first domestic cup success since their Irish Cup win 14 years ago. But Glentoran are the County Antrim Shield holders and don't want to let go of the heaviest trophy in the local game. Yes, hello and welcome to the second cup final of the season. Glentoran already with one trophy in the bag. They'll be out to complete the second leg of what they hope will be the grand slam of all the silverware this season. Ballymena in their first final in 6 years, out to prove they can hold their own against the best team in the Irish League. In the commentary box for us tonight, as always, is Jackie Fullerton, who brings us the team news.
Glentoran have no injury problems and lots of familiar names here. United will have to watch the striking partnership of Andy Smith and Darren Armour, who've got 50 goals between them so far this season. From midfield, Scott Young has chipped in with 11 goals, and he's alongside the very classy former international Michael O'Neill. But from goalkeeper Elliot Morris out, a team laden with quality. First Division United do come here with injury problems, missing our second top goal scorer Peter Withnell and defenders Joe Gray and Alfie Stewart, although the veteran Stewart is on the bench. Their main man to look out for is 21-year-old striker Shay Campbell, who's got 33 goals this season. And there are a couple of very talented golden oldies, 38-year-old skipper Paul Byrne and 37-year-old midfielder Trevor McMullan. Well, there he is, the blonde hitman of the Oval, Andy Smith, 29 goals this season. He's been a revelation. Shay Campbell, a young man who's been on trial at Oldham this season, but then come back to United, signed a 2-year contract, 33 goals, including 4 hat-tricks. He's quite a handful. Skippers tonight on the left, it's Paul Byrne for United. Chris Walker there with the distinguished hairstyle. And the man in the middle tonight is Alan Snoddy, his 6th County Antrim Shield final. Well, there you can see a large contingent of the United supports. They are looking forward to this final. They haven't won a cup final since 1989 when they beat Larne 1-0 in the Irish Cup decider. It's been a long time. As Stephen has said, it's the second cup final of the season. Glentoran have already won the CIS League Cup. They are big favourites this evening. 1-3 in the bookmakers. United, the First Division outsiders, are 15-2. But a good atmosphere at the Oval. There's some 500 fans up from Ballymena United as Shay Campbell takes an early knock. Mark Carlisle, 11 years at the showgrounds in his testimonial year, in fact, the 33-year-old. Long and high from the Glentoran keeper. Colin Nixon. Scott Young. Here's O'Neill. Turned away from danger, but that's good hustling by United. But Glentoran have it back. Here's the player of the month, Gary Smith, to get it forward. Nigel Boyd. Only Campbell forward. Controlled it. He's given it away though. Here's O'Neill. Scott Young did well. And this is Tim McCann 2. And the United number 2 does well against Smith. Trevor McMullan, experienced campaigner, just gets it down the line, but here's Gary Smith. Nice ball to Scott Young, a little bit of space, linking up with Andy Smith. Continues his run, Scott Young. At the back post, Colin Nixon is well forward. Looks as though Colin Nixon is playing like a wing-back this evening because Paul Lehman is behind him. Playing three at the back, Glentoran. The clubs met here in the CIS Cup semi-final back in November. Glentoran won that by 5 goals to 3. 2 of those were very late goals. So goals galore this evening. That would be nice. Chris Walker, his usually reliable left foot, letting the Glentoran skipper down. Kelly Shields, the United manager who won the County Antrim Shield with Carrick back in '92 when they beat, guess who? Glentoran. Gary Smith, whose long throw has been questioned. That looked all right. Now here's Armour. Still Armour. Danger here for United. Real danger, but the light blue shirts got it away again. Campbell, he needs support. He goes left. There was a run from Paul Evans on the far side. He acknowledges the ball. There we are, Armour. He got the ricochet and the ball was played into the middle. And Tim McCann just couldn't get there. Chris Walker gets there first. Leaves it for Gary Smith. He tries to find Andy Smith and did. Byrne. Gary Smith judged it well. Lockhart takes over. Darren Lockhart making ground. The left footer! And the left hand of Robinson pushed it away to safety. Well, Lockhart has got 4 goals this season. He's already scored a hat-trick in the Shield this season against Barn United. Great effort, but tremendous save from Robinson. Quickly down to his left. Gary Smith, Lockhart, a bit of space, a chance to get forward. Under his right foot, a chance to hit. It was well off target, though. Here's Evans, clever little ball player, and he's just proved it. And again, and again. Much to the delight of the United support on that side. And if my producer just stays a tight shot of young Evans, it's only his 6th game for United. He was 6 months out. He was almost killed in a head-on car crash last July, so it's good to see him back. Finds Nixon. O'Neill. Everything revolves around the former international. Here's Gary Smith. Lockhart. Chance here, Scott Young, but he just waited too long. Good covering from O'Loughlin, and again. Gary Smith. Michael O'Neill sweeps it into space. Tim McCann all the way across. Armour, Nixon, but an easy take in the end for Robinson. He played his part, Colin Nixon. Well, here's the chance. The ball was played in. It was headed back and it was Nixon, but no trouble for the keeper. Farmer gets the flick here. United could be in trouble. Armour, Andy Smith. United being stretched for the moment. The ball is played in. Took a touch, it was Byrne. Lockhart, but closed down immediately. Tim McCann delivers. Oh, it took a touch all the way through to Andy Smith from the angle. And he'll be disappointed he didn't make the goalkeeper work. But when you've got 29 goals this season, you're full of confidence. Why not have a go? And a little smile there. There's the cross from McCann. It got a flick on. There he is, but it didn't work out. All the way across, there's Smith, but the angle always against him. The man with the silver boots. It just didn't work out for him. McMullan. Evans, little dummy. Here's Campbell. Tried to switch the play, well, did switch the play, but to no avail, really. Away by Gary Smith. Byrne. Carlisle under pressure. Lockhart takes it away from Carlisle. Break on here, Armour is inside, Carlisle. And O'Loughlin did well again and was brought down. He's worked hard, the United number 7. Couple of timely tackles, boos from the Glentoran supporters. But I think the referee got it right. Because I think Lockhart, he really dallied on the ball. Well, yes, he did get a touch there. Perhaps the referee wasn't right. Armour, who got a goal last season when they won the Shield against Linfield. He was also man of the match. Oh, that's a great ball in. Lockhart arriving, just couldn't get on the end of it. But again, it was good defending from United. Nice play from Armour. Very dangerous ball, and McMullan did so well. As Lockhart, well, it was almost a tap-in, wasn't it? But McMullan made sure it wasn't. There you can see the weather conditions at the moment. Andy Smith tries to make the space. He did. But he couldn't produce the finish. Good control. Did well to get the space, but a poor finish by his standards. Now, Armour, chance to turn. Armour, chance to hit, but straight at Robinson. He's got 5 in the Shield so far, including 4 against Barn United, but not that time. But like Smith, full of confidence, prepared to hit. Smith, oh, he's shown too much of that to McMullan, and he just couldn't find O'Loughlin, or United could have been on their way. But like his colleagues, McMullan working like a Trojan in that midfield. Carlisle, Oran Kearney, here's Campbell, passing a bit of O'Loughlin as Gary Smith gets across to cover and gets the throw in as well. Campbell needs support, finds it from Oran Kearney. Campbell, oh, he's done well, the number 9. Kearney just couldn't get a foot to it. And that was more than half a chance for the First Division side. Frustration on the face of Kearney. Campbell, little flick. Kearney finds him again. Did well, the number 9. Great ball in. And Kearney just wasn't there on the end of it. But a little wake-up call for Glentoran, perhaps. Lockhart shrugged off his marker. He's done well. And again. Campbell prepared to run as always, but he loses out. And Boyd was in the way. Lockhart will leave it for Colin Nixon. Nixon, first time ball, Armour arriving! 1-0. He got a goal in last year's final, Darren Armour. He was man of the match, and here at the Oval this evening, he's the man of the moment. Disappointment for Robert Robinson. Just 4 minutes before half-time. They're on their feet on the Glentoran side. Great ball in, first-time ball from Nixon. Where was the marking? Armour soared high and was successful. Poor time for United to lose a goal, but that's a great finish. Take nothing away from the ball, and then Armour, he climbed so high, no chance for Robinson. Disappointment just before the break for the United bench and Kenny Shields. United try to hit back, in by Carlisle. Gary Smith. Well, Shea Campbell, but crowded out in the end. It was Gary Smith who got in the challenge. McMullan. United try to hit back before the break, all the way across. Here's Campbell. Oh, he turned well. Oren Kearney, Campbell, McMullan, Nigel Boyd. No way through though. And that was Lehman very bravely going into the challenge. But United are not giving up the ghost. Campbell, he's a real worker, isn't he? Just doesn't loiter about the middle waiting for the chances. Here's McLernon. Still McLernon. Nobody wide. O'Loughlin. Did well, got the throw in. Chris Walker doesn't agree with me or the officials. Here's O'Neill. Into the gap for Armour. Kearney did well, so too did Armour. Lockhart is on his way. Andy Smith is in the middle, so too is Scott Young, but Robinson was down quickly. Truth be told, it wasn't a great final ball. Lockhart could and should have done better. Careful. Well, Lockhart will know he could and should have done better. As the referee brings it to an end. Always interesting. United may be the first division underdogs, but my goodness, they are battling. A little bit of argy-bargy with Michael O'Neill and Shea Campbell. Not too sure what that's all about. The only goal came 4 minutes before the break from Darren Armour. 1-0 to the holders, Glentoran, at half-time. But this final, it's not over. .45 minutes left. Quick look round, doesn't seem to be any changes to either side. And if the scores were level at the end of 90 minutes, we would have the golden goal, 2 10-minute periods, but a golden goal would bring it to an end in extra time. As Smith makes the break, that's a great ball in. But O'Loughlin helps it on its way. Did well, Andy Smith, whipped it in, caused confusion in that United defence. It's taken quickly. Scott Young, Gary Smith arriving, just wide of the post. Robert Robinson, well, an anxious moment there for the United #1, and a wry smile. Great ball in from Scott Young. Gary Smith, he climbed so high and he wasn't too far away. And almost the perfect start for the Glens at the start of this second half. Walker stepped out. Smith gives chase. Kearney right with him. Little chip. Nixon. Armour is in there, just couldn't climb high enough. He did score with a header in the first half, but was a couple of inches away from that one. Did well with his wrong foot, Colin Nixon. It was always too high. Kearney, McMullan seemed to lose it. Boyd didn't, he gets it forwards. And the flag is up on the far side. It was against Shea Campbell, man in your picture. Andy Smith's little flick went straight to Byrne. Evans got his head to it, so too did Walker very bravely. Andy Smith, lovely little ball. Lockhart, Nixon, once again Armour in the middle. But that was Carlisle with the header. Nixon and Boyd. A little bit of a tangle. Referee says play on. O'Neill immediately closed down. Walker steps away from McLernon. Andy Smith. Walker now. Smith in the clear. He can hit it on the volley. Great finish. How's that for a finish, he says. 13 minutes into the second half. Unlucky for United and goalkeeper Robinson. 30th goal of the season for Andy Smith. He set it up, he says. Chris Walker played his part. And they must feel the second trophy of the season is on its way to the Oval. Here's Walker. Played it through. Got a little touch here. There's the header in the space. There's the volley. Bottom corner, 2-0. And that coming up from Andy Smith. Well, it's a striker on form. 30th goal of the season. Very clever. Robinson had no chance at all. Good finish. Things will be happier on the Glentoran bench after that second goal. Nixon takes over. Break on here. It's 3 against 2 for the moment. United trying to get back. Michael O'Neill. Armour near post. Andy Smith back post. The lob was almost perfect. Scott Young. It's in the crowd. There you can see his feelings about that. But here's the class of a former international. Lovely little chip. It may have taken a deflection and Robinson clawed it away. Good view here. No deflection. And almost very clever by Michael O'Neill. And Scott Young, well, he couldn't finish it. Nixon in strongly. Lovely little ball to find Scott Young. Little shimmy, Scott Young on the left foot, but well closed down by Byrne. Denied by a touch of class from a veteran. Andy Smith leaves it for Tim McCann. Takes a few bobbles. Now Smith, there's the chest control! And my goodness, that was close. Did it catch the post on the way past? He can't believe it. Neither can he. Let's see what happened here. There's the control. There's the shot. And it was side netting. And Robinson having a real go at his defenders. Here's Armour. Slightly forcing it. Here he is again. Walker, of all people, to his left, making a run. Smith on this side. Flag stays down. Byrne was in the way. Lockhart finds Walker. He drills it across to Nixon. United being opened up slightly at the moment. Here's Andy Smith. Oh, it's for Lockhart. A chance to hit. A chance to for number 3. And it's in. I think it's Scott Young. There were a couple on the line. It is indeed Scott Young. 12th goal of the season for the Scot. His second in the Shield. Well, I was saying that United, for the moment, were being opened up. There we are. It was missed by Kearney. There's the chip. And there's the finish. It wasn't Armour, it was Scott Young. Kearney unlucky. Very clever ball from Lockhart. And United, they couldn't keep it out. Top marks to Lockhart, completely unselfish. And there's the reaction. Is he happy? Of course he is. 3-0 Glentoran. Darren Armour, Andy Smith, Scott Young. And they may not be finished. Scott Young. Still Scott Young. Oh, this will be a tremendous goal, but it was a brilliant save in the end from Robinson. The little man was oh so close, denied by that man there. Lovely skill, picks it up here, skips away, 1, 2, lovely stuff. Well done, Robinson. Darren Lockhart has not scored this evening, but the press have named him as the TFG man of the match. Alfie Stewart. O'Loughlin trying to weave a way through. He's doing well. Ball is played into the middle. It's just wide of the post. It was Nigel Boyd. Almost a chance for United fans to celebrate on this evening of disappointment. Nigel Boyd outside of the left foot, outside of the post. Long ball forward. Alfie Stewart under it. O'Loughlin, but Walker read that ball, steps forward. Now, Byrne chips it forward. Oh, Campbell unlucky. Mix up there with Elliot Morris and defenders, and Campbell. He was very brave, and he was almost in here. There's the mix-up, and there's the ricochet away for the goal kick. But 10 out of 10 for endeavour from the United striker. They are still cheering their team. That is good to see, even though the evening will end in disappointment. Oren Kearney. Here's O'Loughlin. United still trying to get forward, still trying to get on the score sheet. Carlisle lifts it across. Conor Gregg tries to get on the scene. O'Loughlin hooks it. Well, it could have deceived Elliot Morris. Hands on head for John O'Loughlin, looking for his 7th goal of the season. Young Gregg helped. There he is. Swirling cross, Elliot Morris backpedaling. Another break on for Glentoran. O'Neill, the green shirts trying to stay onside. They didn't manage it. Linesman absolutely right, despite the protests of Andy Smith. And the referee brings it to an end. Glentoran's 2nd trophy of the season, 23rd time for them to win the Shield. Darren Armour, 4 minutes before half-time with a header, gave them a 1-0 lead at half-time. And then goals in the second half from Andy Smith. And number 3 came from Scott Young, a header from the little man, but they all count. 3-0, Glentoran, 2 trophies so far, 12 points clear in the league race. They're still in the Irish Cup. They must surely be thinking in terms of a clean sweep of all 4 trophies. But nobody at the Oval will be admitting that just yet. Despondent look on Kenny Shields, but no question, Kenny, the better side won this evening. There we go. Yes, we know, Glentoran have won it, boys. Good to see some young men here, spectators of the present and, more importantly, of the future. More success for the man who will remember it was the Shield back in 1977 with Linfield, which started him onto what was a trophy-laden career over 27 years in management. Scott Young, who got that 3rd goal with a header. Colin Dixon, how many medals has he got? Elliot Morris, 1st season for him, what a season it's been. Gary Smith, Andy Smith, yes, he got the 2nd goal. Man of the match, Darren Lockhart. Paul Lehman, he was skipper last year, as I said. There's the man who got the 1st goal, Darren Armour. The fans are enjoying this. Michael O'Neill is receiving his medal, so too Tim McCann. Mr. Desi Kirkwood, chairman of the Shield Committee, about to try and hand over the trophy. He's lifted it. They are the Shield champions. The fans appreciate it. CIS Cup, now the Shield. What else? That remains to be seen. Final score in the Shield final. Great night for the Glens. They've beaten Ballymena United by 3-0.
Well, Darren, congratulations. Man of the match.
Thanks very much, Stephen. I thought there was lots of players out there who deserved man of the match. I was actually quite surprised that I got it.
But another trophy for Glentoran, and very much deserved tonight. Played some good football.
We did. I think it took us a while to get started, but once we got the first goal, we seemed to ease into it a bit. And I think the weather played a bit into it in the first half. We were playing against the breeze. We made it hard for ourselves at times, but once we started to spread the play a wee bit, we done very well.
Another trophy for Glentoran tonight.
Yes, very much enjoying it, you know. After the last couple of games out, you know, Linfield, Portadown, and to come here at Ballymena, they made it very hard for us first half. But second half we played some good football, you know.
And on the score sheet again for yourself, lovely goal too.
It's nice, just a great ball through, and I just managed to get a nice touch on it, you know, and thankfully it went in, you know.
I mean, it's always great to win a cup and to win a medal personally, but to lift the trophy as captain, it's great, you know.
Yeah, dreadful conditions tonight, but Glentoran played some nice football.
Yeah, I thought the first half we played as usual. We try and play into the wind, you know, and we take a win in the second half. And I thought the second half just showed we didn't need to use the win. We just played our football, as you say, and we ended up 3 goals to the better.
And plenty of opportunities for you to push forward as well. Played a vital part in Andy Smith's goal.
Yeah, well, the gaffer's saying if you see a space, go into it. So why not? I took a chance and I went into it, and the ball broke nicely, and I nodded into Andy, and what a finish! You know, unbelievable. That's what he's done all season.